Any thoughts about the last run? That building had some incredible toys in it. Those were fun to see. I'm not saying that I approve of how they were used, mind you, but there was some pretty weird stuff in there all the same. Well, anyway, we did the job. 12 volts dead, but I kind of wish that you'd held off for a bit. At the very least, we could have milked some new yen out of him before putting him down. He shrugs. Well, c'est la vie. Talk to you later, Blitz. Dietrich. Back when we took on Humanists, you said that you fought in the Night of Rage. I'd like to hear more about that. He nods, then fishes in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright boss, we can talk about it. So I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces to fight off the racists, right? And after a long and bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all of this. I'm an anarchist at heart, always have been, but at the time I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time. Master Kampf was still touring. Not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride, bunch of young kids, all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight, and so I led those kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of the kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all of my attitude, SKC, but none of them had my magic. And youthful enthusiasm is no defense against a knife or a handgun. So you didn't arm them? I left the punk scene for all the reasons I told you, boss, but there was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, that is where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow in my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. You didn't prepare them for an actual fight? Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. Have you put any thoughts into what I said earlier? What did I say earlier? Yeah, boss, I have. It's an interesting idea, but here are the risks. I'm thinking that this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember? If our discussion turned into an argument, he could take all of that magic back in a heartbeat, and then where would we be? From what you've told me about the Dragon Slayer, I don't think he'd like the way you're talking. Since when was he ever encouraged you to back down from a fight? I can't justify the risk of you losing your magic, not right now. Let's hold off on this until after we've gotten ourselves out of this mess we're already in. Huh. You've got a point there, boss. He wouldn't want me to back down ever, not even from him. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'll ask the Dragon Slayer about shifting priorities, I guess you can say. Taking on some deserving organization and calling off the hunt for something more impressive than the Firewing. Of course, a fight like that would never really end. I'm never gonna bring down a corp or a polo club all on my lonesome. He shrugs, but maybe that's not a bad thing. It'll take a lot of guesswork out of life. I don't know, boss. If you have any thoughts about this, I'd love to hear them. You've already done some damage to humanists. How about them? Could they be your new white whale after we're done with all of this? If you want big and bad, how about say the Crop? They're the biggest corporation in the world, and they're led by an honest-to-God dragon. I mean, the Dragon Slayer. The Dragon Slayer is called the Dragon Slayer, alright? I think he wants you to take on the dragon. If not the dragon directly, but just work against SK, sure. Why tie yourself to a specific group? I say keep it fluid. Stop anyone that threatens the flux. Isn't that what Berlin is all about? Yeah, I mean that actually sounds the most reasonable. He cocks his head. Interesting. That's a different approach, but I like it. Hang on a second, I'll ask. He closes his eyes and concentrates. Minutes pass. Slowly, a smile creeps across his face. Dietrich opens his eyes and he turns to face you. Yeah, I think that he liked this plan just fine. That was it? That was all it took? The Dragon Slayer doesn't mince words, boss. If he didn't like the plan, he'd have told me. Dietrich's grin widens. He looks more at ease than you've ever seen him. Well, boss, I've got myself a plan. And a new target to boot. That's assuming, of course, that any of us make it through our current predicament alive. You know, Dietrich, now that you've got a handle on your connection with the Dragon Slayer, you could probably reach out to your old community again. Berlin's punks could benefit from your experience. He nods. Yeah, boss. I was thinking about the same thing. Maybe I could give back a bit and fix some of the damage I caused in my misspent youth. After we finish dealing with the crisis in front of us, that is. It's a good thought anyway, I'll keep it in mind. Okay. I'm not sure, like, I don't really understand Dietrich and Dragon Slayer. Like, we're giving him advice, but I don't even know. Like, I don't really get it. I don't, like, what's going on with it? What is the Dragon Slayer and what does he want? He seems pretty chill, the Dragon Slayer. He's like, Dietrich is like, oh, I don't want to fight these guys, I want to fight those guys. Dragon Slayer is like, alright, as long as you're fighting somebody. Right? It seems pretty straightforward. Alright, any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. Alright. Last run. Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad that I don't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals, I'll tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. He pauses for a moment, then looks you in the eye. Kind of a pity putting that rigger on ice like that. Least we could have done was hurt him out. I get that the job is a job and all, but if our client really did screw him over, he deserved better than to get buried for it. I didn't like him, Dietrich. It wasn't about whether the client screwed him over or whatever it was. I didn't like him. He shrugs. I guess we'll never know. Yeah, I guess... I mean, you'll never know. SCKC, greetings. Amso peers at you through a battered old pair of wide-rimmed glasses. There's something gentle about the man, with the silver hair and tweed jacket. He looks more like an aging art history professor than he does like a criminal go-between. Is there something I can do for you? I haven't been talking to Paul very much at all. I just realized. Like you asked about men on the team. Mission computer. Okay, he doesn't actually have anything to say to me. That's why I'm not talking to him. Iga? Iga glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. SCKC, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried in a big way. Talk to me, Iga. If something puts you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so that you can look at the screen. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail-thin orc with jet black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in the field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. Social engineering and wet work. What an interesting combination. He lies to you and then he kills you. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All of the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, SCKZ, and my contact spotted him in Schottenest. That's a little too close to the Kraut Bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the Syndicate moved in. SCKZ, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town? It can't be allowed to happen again in Schottenest. Why not? I don't have any particular love for that place. Yeah, no, it's not about the place, it's about taking out the dude. Agreed, do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact that he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia. And he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky syndicate. He's taking contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me that he's even done a few jobs for Terminus. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. Why don't I join you? I know how important it is that we resolve the Feuerschwinger situation, I get it, but I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the Crowd's Bazaar is at risk, it's too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you, end of story. Good hunting, I'll be waiting. Looking forward to hearing your report when you get back. As the leader of this team, I say what our priorities are, and I said that dealing with this mercenary pales in comparison with stopping firing. Yeah, no, let's go together! You know what, let's have a field trip, let's hang out, let's have like a... let's go on go out, have a meal, watch a movie, kill a dude. It'll be nice, Aiga. It's just you and me. We should spend some time together. Alright, fearless leader, you're right. I could use the help, but the others, they can't know about this. This is gonna have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. Are you sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'd be better off on my own. Don't worry about me, I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Winkenkeller. At Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's gonna join us there, and he can help us figure out our next step. Yeah, Iger and me are going on a mission to kill someone. Yeah. Claudia favors you with a weak smile. Her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. How are you, SKC? SKC, I've got to admit, I've been dreading this. Oh, really? So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, you're here to tell me off. I wouldn't blame you if you were. You're what? No, we kill people all the time, Glory. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in to see how you were doing. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story and I have a question for you. No, I mean, I actually don't mind. So she was in a cult. She was like the second in command of a cult that killed kids. They killed some kids, like abused, sexually exploited the rest. She was part of it. And then she blew up her own mother. But curiously didn't go and finish off her father as well. I mean, I get it. Like I get it. She was young and stupid. Look, I mean, maybe it seems like I'm very forgiving, but the point is, she is clearly not the same person that she was. Like, who she is today is very clearly a very different person than who she was. So I'm not gonna judge her today based on what she did back then, because I can see that she has changed, right? It's not like, what's the point of me telling her off? She's already changed, right? She's already become a different person. It's not like I need to tell her, hey, you were wrong. She knows she was wrong. So there's no point telling her off, she already knows it. Is my point. Alright, I'll check in to see how you're doing. Not great, struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off on a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story, I have a question for you. Do I? Yeah, what's that? You've escaped from Harrow, but he's still out there. If you're looking to atone for your past, don't you think that shutting him down would be a good place to start? Yeah, let's get straight to the point. Let's kill some dudes, Glory. Let's go and kill some dudes. Yeah, Glory, just you and me, it'll be great. You can like cut him open with your hand knife thing, then I can like pop with my SMG. It'll be awesome. Are you still looking for closure? Because your story had a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. Yeah, and your father! Not just Harold, also your father! You got out of the fuse, Stella, but Harold's cult is still up and running, right? Still full of kids who are being brainwashed and worse. So shouldn't we do something about that? Yeah, shouldn't we? I mean, they're all the same thing. If you're looking to atone for her past, is she looking to atone for her past? She's never said that she's looking to atone for her past. Anyway, but what we should do is save those kids. She holds her silence for a long time. Finally she nods. Yes, I've been thinking about this for a long time, Mr. Casey. Oh, you should have acted on it sooner. And every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing. But I can't do it alone. I'm gonna need your help. That's the idea. I'm glad that we're on the same page. Let's go kill people. Yeah, that solves all our problems, Glory. The solution to our problem is to kill some dudes. Alright, if we're gonna do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place, lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. Okay. But then, there's also Harold to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it. And if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else, where we can't find him. And all of this would have been for nothing. Well, I mean, saving these people isn't nothing, Glory. I mean, the fact that he starts up somewhere else doesn't mean it's nothing. But you're right. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think that we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harold? I don't think that we can manage both. Freeing the kids should be our first priority. We raid Fure Stella, round up the runaways, and clear Harold's influence from their minds, getting him worth to be secondary. We wipe out the cult. Oh, that's dramatic. Starting with Harold, as long as he's alive, he can just start all this over again. We'll save any cultists that we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. No. We're gonna make killing Harold secondary. I mean, as much as I enjoy killing people, we're gonna make killing Harold secondary. Because if we just end up killing a bunch of kids, it's not like we're making anything better. We might as well, like, if we're gonna kill a bunch of kids, we might as well just let Harold continue doing his thing. Like, it's no better than that. So we're gonna make saving the kids our first priority. If we can kill them, we'll kill them. I hate giving Harold the chance to escape, but you're right. Saving the kids is what is important. She pauses, considering her choice, and a smile flits across her lips. This feels like the path to redemption. This feels right. Oh, she does want redemption. Glad to hear that we're in agreement. When you're ready to go, meet me at the van. It's a long drive from here to the Sean Butch. She nods. Right, I'll get my things. Oh, and thanks, Mr. Casey, for everything. You're welcome. You are so welcome. I'm gonna save the game here. When we come back, let's go on missions with Iga and then with Glory. I mean, what better way to spend time with our dear friends than to go kill people together? Am I right? I'm gonna save the game and see you next time.